All right. Well, we got 1 week to go, guys.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Now, before we get on with why we're so excited and stuff like that, not only are the Seahawks 13-3, but we'll get to why in a second. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Seahawks Sessions Postgame Show, part of the Time to Be Us family of shows, and Bell Sports Media Network. My name is Dan Cruz. There's Dustin Hammer in the corner, Kevin Wilson in the middle, and this is the Seahawks Sessions Postgame Show. You can like, follow, share, and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. However you've been listening. Like, rate, review, follow the show. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, Belly Up Friends, Podbean, the whole 9 yards. Follow the official Time to Be Us Podcast Facebook page. Just search Time to Be Us Podcast. And if you're joining in the live stream, engage in the comments. You know what to do. Be a good person. Not hard. And be nice. We'll also be taking comments and questions throughout the show. So, yeah. Guys, we are 1 week away from the end of the regular season, and the Seahawks have tied a franchise record with 13 wins.
Man.
They moved to 13-3 with a 27-10 win in Charlotte over the Panthers in Carolina. And by the way, this may be breaking news, but if the 49ers, whoa, Jesus.
I saw
Why is the TV?
No, we don't want that to light up when you're talking about the 49ers.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's my TV in front of me.
No,
That's
you
my
want
TV
that to
in
go
front of me. Hold on.
completely dark.
Hold on.
When
So context be key. TV,
Oh,
shut off.
You have the poltergeist now that
That's
I had
right.
a couple weeks ago.
Keep
here.
that in
Yeah,
your
right.
side of the,
Right?
of the corner
Jeez.
over there.
Anyway, so context be key here. Seahawks are 13-3. The Rams are 11-4 right now. The 49ers are also 11-4. San Francisco plays Chicago later tonight. In Chicago, right?
No, they're playing at home.
They're playing in
they're
San
playing in
Francisco.
Santa
That's right.
Clara.
San Francisco, if they win out, will not have to leave
Okay.
San Francisco the rest of the playoffs.
So they play in Santa Clara, and
Correct.
the Rams are in Atlanta
Correct.
tomorrow night. Okay,
Right.
Thank you. The point of the story is if San Francisco loses tonight against the Bears and the Rams lose in Atlanta, unlikely but possible because they play down their competition. If the point is if they lose against Atlanta tomorrow night and the Niners lose to Chicago tonight, Seattle clinches the NFC West by default.
Right, because then they would both have 5 losses.
Correct. And that means next week's game would not freaking matter. Except for
it would,
except for
because
seeding
if the
purposes.
Bears win, they
that's
can
true.
still play for the number 1 seed.
That's true. Good
That's
point. Fair point.
The number 1 seed.
But I'd still
also.
take the Bears over the 49ers. I'd take the Russian communists over the 49ers.
Oh man, here we go.
Here we go.
We haven't even
Starts a conversation like that. I just sat down.
We just sat down, Kevin.
Well, I'm just telling you. All right.
Kevin, we just hit record.
Anyone than the 49ers.
Starts a conversation
All right.
like that. I just sat down.
All right.
Oh.
So before we dive into this game, then I have a question for you, Kevin, because you have seen now. For me, I started following the Seahawks. In earnest in like 1999, 2000. So they were still in the AFC then, but then they switched in 2002, I think it was, to
Somewhere
the
in
NFC.
there, yeah.
2002.
So who do you dislike more, the Raiders or the Niners? Because you have a longer fandom with their time in the AFC. So do you still harbor the intense dislike for some of their old AFC West division rivals?
Well, I still, when it comes to the Raiders, and simply because they beat the Seahawks when they were in the AFC title game,
Yep.
years and years, and 2 days after the dinosaurs stopped walking the earth, back in those days. But it's not nearly as white hot to me,
Yeah.
as the 49ers
Yeah.
are. So, and given recent events, it's kind of hard not to just have a little, just what's the word? You're like the Raiders. You're like, you got to have a soft spot a little
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
what
because
they've gone through, except for this. What we talked about on the last show about what they're doing with Mr. Crosby over there.
oh
Yup.
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's some nonsense.
Yeah.
So that lays. Uh-oh.
Oh man. Well,
Are we
I'm still
okay?
here, guys. Don't worry. My package just came in. Hold on.
okay.
Okay, so that raises my little ire for the Raiders right now, but the 49ers still hold the number one hate spot for me in all of sports.
Yeah. No, it's tough because for me, I remember now I didn't like the Raiders from the Seahawks time in the AFC
No.
and the Broncos also. They got a little bit of my ire, but we kind of exercised those demons in the Super Bowl years ago.
That's right.
But for me, it's a toss up between the Niners and Rams for me because I despised Mike Martz when he was the head coach of the Rams.
That was
And
easy to do.
And it was also that was when the Rams were the class of that division and the Seahawks were kind of on their way up, but they couldn't knock them off, and then they finally did. So I have a lot of dislike for the Rams, but I give the edge to the Niners, like you said, Kevin, just because even going back to the Harbaugh Carroll days, it's been an intense rivalry for a lot of years now.
It has been, and they've played each other. The Rams and the Seahawks, they don't seem to play each other when the playoffs come around nearly as much as the 49ers and the Seahawks do.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. But so when it goes all back to the 49ers, and they just seem like they've got this, to their credit, I suppose, that they've got this aura about them that if you're not a 49ers fan, that just rubs you the wrong way.
Yeah. I would.
And so I'm not can't be. It couldn't happen. Because you ever seen one of those questions where they say, if you've got a free jersey from this team, which one would you not wear it no matter what? And the 49ers topped the list.
All right.
If somebody gifted me a 49ers jersey, it's going to the back alley somewhere.
Yeah, you're putting that in the donation pile.
Absolutely. So that's always been my answer to that. So,
all right.
And but you have to give it up to the 49ers simply because they've had so many injuries.
Yes.
And they've overcome.
All right,
especially on defense.
Yeah,
so,
they have. And I mean, you got to take your hats off to them, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're going to be talking about the 49ers.
That's right. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves on that.
We got a whole other live stream to do on Friday, boys. Come on.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, I'm assuming, Kevin, did you get this game over where you were?
No, and that was very irritating to me.
Oh, so I'm the only one?
So
hold on.
The game that we got here was Jacksonville versus Indianapolis.
Boo.
Okay, that was at least a decent game for most of it, though.
It was.
All right, so let's get on with it. So, from what I saw from a majority of the game was Dustin's pessimist self that he usually is. He is right once. He's sort of right once again.
Yeah.
Seahawks had a bit of a slow start entering the half.
Right.
Going into halftime.
Fourth game in a row now?
Yeah.
Something like that. It's going into the half.
Yeah.
But Sam threw an interception to Mike Jackson.
Yeah, former Seahawk picked him off. Going for JSN there. And
he also got sacked 3 times by a team that I said, because they don't have the defensive rush that the Seahawks do.
No.
But they got to him 3 times.
They did, yeah.
Yes.
That's a concern to me.
But, oh, boy, and then how many rushing yards did the Panthers have?
Panthers. Today? Okay,
we'll get to the Panthers first. We'll go to the Panthers first.
Had 99 total rush yards.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
a
more
3.8 yards per carry average. You'll take that.
How much did they have against the Rams?
Okay, now I got to go back. All right, hold on.
Okay. You know, I'll look for you. Keep talking.
How much
Okay,
did the
so-
Panthers have against the Rams? That's what you're.
How much do the Rams have against the Seahawks?
Oh, the Rams have
It
against.
seemed
the
like they
Seahawks?
had like 700.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
didn't, but it seemed like that.
Yeah.
And so it's good because we talked, at least I did, about how they've got the 2-back set. Carolina does.
mhm.
And so they put us pretty much a stop to that because, let's see, let me pull that back up since you're doing the other thing.
124 the Rams had over the Seahawks.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot more. It's funny that the Panthers had 90. What was it? 99 rush yards in this one.
Yeah.
Because it didn't feel like it. I mean, and granted, Dan, as I said to you in the Patreon exclusive green room, I didn't get to see the whole game because I was watching via Red Zone. And in the first half, there wasn't a lot of scoring. So guess what game wasn't on a lot? The Seahawks Panthers. But I saw Rico Dowdle. He had a great run to open Carolina's first drive. And I'm thinking, okay, here we go. And then I didn't see anything to speak of. So I'm surprised. I would have thought that the defense, especially with the game that they had, limited the rushing yards more than that. So the Panthers moved the ball okay on the ground, it would seem.
But Kevin, you mentioned the Panthers had 54 passing yards.
Yeah.
With Bryce
50,
Young.
I mean, 5.
55.
5-4.
54. Thank
Okay.
you.
And 24 pass attempts. They had 54 yards passing.
That's impressive.
That's
Yeah.
really getting it done. And they had 2 sacks on them. They intercepted him 1 time.
Yep.
And so you got to be fabulously pleased with what the Seahawks accomplished in that area.
Oh,
Yup.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now, how's the Kenneth Walker train doing, Kevin?
Oh,
Well, Kenneth Walker didn't really stand out in this game.
No, his partner did.
His
Yes.
partner did, and this is because the problem with Charbonnet up till today
Until recently, yeah.
is he would only average like 3-point-something yards per carry.
yeah.
This week it was 6.1.
That's
Man.
wow.
So
He
that
scored
tells
2
me,
touchdowns and had 110 yards rushing.
yeah. So it's a big game, which Kevin, I think if we go back to Friday's episode, that was one of your keys that the running game had to get going, and it did. And what those numbers tell me is 2 key things. One, Charbonnet had it moving a little bit. And what have you said for the entire season, Dan? The offensive line is better when they're blocking downhill.
Walking downhill, yep.
They were opening up holes for Charbonnet with those. When you're averaging 6 yards a carry,
I couldn't
you're
watch the
getting
game
holes.
live, but I was listening to the Seahawks because I had it on Sirius XM on the radio,
Mm-hmm.
and they specifically mentioned the offensive line and what a good job they were doing, especially on the left side, which I was very pleased to hear.
With
Yeah.
Josh Jones and
Josh
Sable, yeah.
Jones over there,
Yeah.
and of course,
Instead of
Brady
Barnes.
Zabel. We know he's solid as can be, but
Oh, yeah.
so offensive line had no issues
Nope.
in this game.
Yeah.
And the running game with Charbs, because they 3.4 yards per carry for Walker. That's not getting it done.
Yeah. There's something up with Kenneth and this. It just seems like he doesn't, as crazy as it seems to say, he doesn't fit in this offense. He doesn't fit what they're trying to do. And I think I think everyone would agree that on paper, Kenneth Walker is the more explosive back of the two. He is the more talented back. He is the more explosive back. However, it seems like Charbonnet fits the offensive philosophy and approach of this team and what they want to do. So I don't know the Kenneth Walker marriage. That's going to be something for us to discuss in the offseason, but I don't know if it's going to last here. And I mean, this is just to get it out of the way, because I am the pessimistic one on this show, but the offense had another slow start But the good thing is the defense held Carolina. I was blown away because a lot of those rushing yards came in the second half for Carolina because probably I think with about 4 to 5 minutes left in the half. And shout out to Scott Hansen and the Red Zone team on this one. They always get stats that blow your mind. At least they do to me every week. And the Panthers had less than 55 yards of total offense in the first half. That's a shutdown. And I had heard before the game that Bryce Young wasn't feeling well, but he was going to start, which hats off to Bryce Young. That's what you do when you're in the midst of a playoff race. So he might not have been at 100%, but he still came out and tried to give it a go. I give him credit for that. But, man, this defense, the adage of defense wins championships, it's true. It's an old adage, but it's true, and we'll have to see. But this defense, it proves it week after week after week because the offense consistently is starting slow. That's something that they'll have to improve. Now, they came alive in the second half, and specifically the fourth quarter. And there were
they did.
There were pockets, but let me tell you who I'd like to nominate as the potential player of the game. And you think that I'm going to go running back because I love running backs, but I'm going to give it for one person. So we'll go back. We talked about the Mike Jackson interception on the throw to JSN there. That gave Carolina a short field, and you're thinking, oh, here we go. Carolina's going to punch it in. But then DeMarcus Lawrence punched the ball out and caused a fumble and almost got a touchdown, but the touchdown was overturned. But that play right there, he has been an amazing signing for the Seahawks and this defense. And I would nominate him for player of the game because to me, that was a turning point because that gave Seattle a short field. They would end up scoring. And that was kind of where the wheels started to come off for Carolina because Carolina was in this game in spite of the fact that they were not at their best by far. They were in this game still at that point. And that play caused, I think it was A.J. Barner that scored after that. And that was it. That was the turning point.
Mm-hmm. And I agree with that. And also because we talked about, at least I did, and one of my keys was the two running backs. Well, Hubbard is the guy you're talking about right there.
Yep.
Who fumbled the football.
Yep.
So we had a fumble, and guess what? He had 12 yards rushing.
Man.
12.
Shut him down. So
Carolina cannot win when Chuba Hubbard gets 12 yards rushing.
Now, would you say this is the best defensive performance all year?
Well, that's kind of hard. It's one of the best.
Because this is not a bad team in Carolina.
No, and this is a team that had everything to play for. We talked about this because if they had won this game, they would have clinched the division because Tampa lost.
Yeah.
So they had everything to play for, and to get 54 yards passing, that blows me away.
This is a complete defensive.
This was not Max Brosmer a couple weeks ago that the Seahawks just absolutely tore him a new rear end.
No,
his first start ever. No,
Bryce
this was
Young
not
is
that
capable. Yeah.
So this is more impressive to me than it was when they shut down Minnesota.
Yeah,
because they did it on the road here for one.
I would, and Dan, I want to see if you agree with me, but the best defensive performance for me of the season, this would rank up number 2. I think number 1 for me is actually in a losing effort. Now,
the Rams won?
The Rams game, because the defense kept them in that game in spite of the 4 interceptions and the ineptitude. That was a defensive clinic, and I think that proved to a national audience how good the Seahawks defense is. So that to me is their best performance.
Oh yeah. It's one game to go, guys. One game to
go. Everything's in front of them.
Yeah.
Everything. And if they win this next game, then my plus 550 bet that I was talking about way back at the beginning. Will pay off.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might get yourself a late Christmas present there, Kevin. A little extra cheddar.
Because that's what they were, was way back in the beginning, the Seahawks were plus 550 to win. the
Yeah.
division. So they were like behind Arizona, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they were behind Arizona. They're behind everyone.
So
Yeah.
Breathe. Jesus. Jesus. Why everyone's sick today? Christ.
Hey, things are going around. It's a crazy time.
All right.
Crazy time. But I mean, what are your thoughts on this game, Dan? Because you're the only one that you saw like the whole game. I
saw the second half because I was out at lunch with the family and stuff like that. So I caught the second half. I did see the Barner touchdown. I did see both Charbonnet touchdowns.
Yeah.
And listen, you guys know my thoughts and everything by now. A win's a win. Nothing is going to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. No game is perfect. If you had to ask me, do I think this is the NFC favorite for the Super Bowl? What would my answer to that question be?
Well, you're the optimist, so I'm going to say you would say yes.
If they get the 1 seed,
that's right. And every time they've gone to the Super Bowl, they've been the number 1 seed.
If they get the 1 seed and the NFC playoffs go through the Seahawks, I think you have a very good chance you're going to have the Seahawks in the NFC Championship game, or at least in the Super Bowl.
Oh man,
I can't believe, because listen, I've been the overly optimistic fellow on this show. I understand that, but and dating back to, I famously used to do predictions, and stuff like that. When the Jimmy Graham trade happened, I was all on the Super Bowl train. And then the season went on, and then I had more predictions that the Seahawks would get to the Super Bowl, and then it fell off. I've never felt more confident about this team going to the Super Bowl than I have been since 2015.
Wow.
I think they're going to go. I think they have a legitimate shot, and I may be getting ahead of myself. But you look at the way the only one that can beat the Seahawks is LA. That's the only team in LA and San Francisco. Their division entirely are the only 2 teams realistically that have a neck and neck shot at going to Seattle and beating the Seahawks on their home turf. They're the only 2 teams to do it.
I would throw one more team in here, but this is a big if. No, it wouldn't be Chicago for me. Even though Chicago's 2-headed rushing attack, what they've done this year, it's pretty amazing. But I would say, and I know people are going to be like, come on, dude. But if the Philadelphia Eagles get it together and play like they can play, and if Saquon if he goes on an end-of-year run, because I think he's the engine of that offense. When he looked like Saquon of old, they're a different team. So I would say the Eagles have a shot. I don't know if the Seahawks are the NFC favorites, only because of the one thing that I have been lamenting. Their offense needs to get it together, because the defense is not always going to be able to bail them out. But however, like you said, Dan, I have never been more confident in a defense since the Legion of Boom days in 2015 and all of that stuff. This defense has my total confidence that they will figure out ways to contain other teams.
This is the best defense they've had in close to 15 years.
It is by far, and
not even close.
And the best thing that would be if, let's say, they have the number 1 seed, the Seahawks.
Yep.
Then the other teams kind of have to, slap themselves around in the round before that.
Yeah.
The Rams, the Eagles, they're all going to have to play the weekend that the Seahawks are sitting at home.
Yeah.
And let's say whoever comes out of the Seahawks win, whoever's the number 2 team is going to have to go clear across the country to play either Tampa or Carolina.
Let's take a look at the playoff bracket.
So then, if they win that game, then they'll have to fly all the way back to the West Coast.
Now, let's take a look at the bracket right now, because as of right now, as the standings are, currently in the NFC. Seattle's 1, Chicago 2, Philly 3, Carolina 4, San Francisco 5, Rams 6, Packers 7.
And the Packers look like they are roadkill at this point.
They look roadkill.
Yeah, I mean,
They gave up 698 yards or whatever it was
To Baltimore.
yesterday to
Yeah.
Baltimore. But then they win, they're in it, and they're in.
The win they're in. Yeah, they beat.
And Henry just ran all over them.
Yeah.
One
they
week
beat Detroit,
after
they're in.
1 week after we were like, so where was Henry when New England was trying to come back and he didn't touch the ball the rest of the game? This is what happens.
Yeah, they beat the
When you give
Vikings.
the
they're in
ball
next
to
week.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
He gives you 200 yards rushing.
Yeah.
216.
And this was a team, and this was a team in Green Bay, mind you. Many were picking the Packers prior to the season to get to the Super Bowl because of the Micah Parsons trade.
Right.
Parsons is out.
And especially after they absolutely blew the doors off of Chicago way back. What was that, week 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And people were saying, well, this is the Super Bowl team right here.
Yeah.
And they've lost 3 straight now.
No, they look, I mean, and they're in trouble.
They look mortal.
And no shade whatsoever to Malik Willis, because I think he played.
Well,
he played.
he had 3
decently.
touchdowns.
Yeah, he played decently in Jordan Love's in relief of Jordan.
2 times he's done this now.
Yep, he does it as my friend. I talked to my friend Scott this morning, and Scott said Malik Willis is going to get a lot of money from somebody. He's going to get a lot of money. But yeah. Green Bay, their defense isn't looking now. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, their defense is toast because Parsons is out now." But let's not. This defense was still a stout unit even without Parsons. I mean, let's remember what they did to the Cowboys in the playoffs last year. They completely dismantled them.
Now let's get, before we get off track.
Yeah,
as we usually do.
Yeah.
We the whole discussion of this topic was the playoff seeding.
Yes.
San Francisco, if the playoffs were to start today, San Francisco would have to go to Carolina.
That's what I'm saying.
And the Rams would have to go to Philly, who have not been kind to the Rams.
Yeah.
No, and they already played once this year, and that's when they had the blocked field goal that Philadelphia ran in for the touchdown.
Yeah, the Rams have not been – they do not play
and
Philly
the Rams, their issue is they get in close games and they lose.
Yes. They play down to the
If they
competition.
beat the brains out of you, which they're capable of doing, they'll win the game.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
if it's like halfway through the fourth and they're up by, let's say, a touchdown or a field goal, they're going to lose the game some way, somehow.
Holy crap! This is I can't wait for next Sunday because the NFC West could theoretically be decided by tomorrow night.
Yeah,
it could be. And if the 49ers beat the Bears, then
it's decided next week.
Then they're gonna make that the Sunday night game next week.
Oh yeah,
be real sure about that.
Has to be.
Yeah,
it's gotta be.
They'll flex it in now. Chris Hansen or Scott Hansen, I always do that. Scott Hansen was talking about this on NFL Red Zone. You got a Saturday doubleheader next week as well. So you don't know what games are going to be pushed into where or what's going to be flexed because the NFC South also will come down to all the marbles. The AFC North and the NFC South will come down to Week 18. So there could be, depending on what the 49ers do tonight, there could be 3 games that decide divisions. Next week. So interesting.
All right. Got any final thoughts, guys, before we close up shop?
We're looking. No. I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
And it's always nice when you come out, your team comes out, and you win, and the team wins, and so now you have smiles on your face for at least a week.
Yep.
Yeah.
This was a game that I was concerned about.
Oh yeah.
Having to fly clear across the country. They do well now. It used to be.
They have done well now. Yeah, they have.
The Seahawks used to be absolutely dead whenever they had to go and play at a 1:00 Eastern time. So that's not been the case the last couple of years now.
No,
but still, Carolina had everything to play for, as we mentioned, and defense came through.
Yes.
On to San Francisco we go, guys.
That's right.
On to San Francisco, and I just overall, I just want to shout out the effort of the team. to come back in the second half and get it going the way that they did. AJ Barner, couple big catches, big second efforts. You know, I mentioned the Lawrence. Also, nice interception by Love on. So I like this, and you said it, Dan. They have 13. They have 13 wins. You remember the last time?
None of us could have predicted 13 wins.
The last time they had 13 wins that I remember was in the Mike Holmgren era.
Nope. Pete Carroll.
Well, yes, that as well. But the ill-fated, the Mike Holmgren era, they also went to the Super Bowl when they had 13 wins. We don't talk about that Super Bowl, but what I remember is that clip leading up to it. Mike Holmgren in the locker room, he said, we're going to win 13 games. And it was before the game. He said, we're going to win 13 games and still no one's going to talk about us. We're going to get the number 1 seed and still no one's going to talk about us. And that's exactly what happened. And so they had 13 because they had 13 the years that they went to the Super Bowl, didn't they? One of the year for Denver and
both of them.
For both of them? Okay.
Not 2014. They won 12 games 2014.
Okay. All right. So when they went in 2015 again, they had 13 wins and they also had
10.
13.
Right. And they were headed to a loss, remember, against Green Bay. And they pulled that game completely out of their rear ends.
I remember that. I almost didn't make it with that game because I lost my mind when they completed the comeback, and I felt lightheaded after that.
Now, regardless, Kevin, you got any thoughts?
I'm jazzed up, just waiting next week, see what happens, and it would be great if the other teams, like the 49ers and Rams, will just go ahead and, gag it up a little.
Lose.
Yeah, if they want to just go ahead and gag it up, and then Seahawks have nothing to play for next week. That would be great, but I don't see that happening, so I expect absolute barn burners of games coming up.
Yeah.
Amen to that. Well, from No Curse Required in the Capital Region of Albany, New York, there's Dustin Henry. From Belly Up Fantasy Live and all the Belly Up products, Kevin Wilson in the middle from the great state of Texas. I'm Dan Cruz. I'm coming to you from the beaches of lovely Long Island, New York. And we'll see you all in this life and most certainly the next one. Cheers, everyone. Have yourselves the good rest of your